this is Amberly from Amberly Vibes, and today I'm going to go over my Friday Venus energies from my Amberly High Vibes journal and some sacred geometry I like to use for my energy work. So we're going to start off with the sacred geometry, and I think we're going to start with the Vesca Pisces. So this is the birthplace of sacred geometry. And so what is the Vesca Pisces? So the Vesca Pisces is the formation of two circles interlocking, creating this shape in the middle that is found in, we're going to go to this page. If you want to research any of this information a little bit more, you can go into my Pinterest at Amberly Vibes, and all of the articles are here. And this just shows how this Vesca Pisces is the start of the formation of the seed of life. This is the seed of life pattern, and then goes on into expansion and growth into the flower of life. And there's a lot more about it in this article, but we're just going to go over the basics today. And then I like to use the Fibonacci spiral and Fibonacci sequence in almost all of my artwork, almost all of my energy work. I use this pattern, I visualize this pattern, and then follow this shape within my turbo shells that I use in my orgonite. And this shape is found in so many things in nature. You'll see this shape in the universe, in flowers, in seashells. It is a natural flow of energy, and what creates the formation here on Earth in a physical form are formed from sound, frequency, and vibration. And this is the number pattern of that formation. So the golden ratio is also what they call it. And here are the numbers: 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, and on and on. This just shows how you add the numbers up and it forms right into the Fibonacci sequence, which creates this pattern here, the spiral pattern. And this shows how the 369 from Nikola Tesla forms the pyramid pattern from the Fibonacci sequence. This is the Metatron's cube, and it has the Platonic solids, all of the Platonic solids inside of this sacred geometry pattern, along with the Fibonacci sequence. So I use these numbers in all of my energy workings that I do, whether I'm doing law of attraction work or creating patterns through artwork. I use these numbers. And this is another article that shows how the Tesla 369 goes into, so this pattern is the Sri Yantra, and we're going to go over that. This is more, if you want to really dive into it, you'd want to look at this all of these findings here explain it a little better than I can. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to go over the basics right now. And you find it in the flow of water, the same pattern. This is why I use a turbo shell in all of my orgonite, the golden ratio pattern. It just is, the energy flows, and the way I visualize it and see it is in this formation, in this pattern. And the most natural thing that I could find for that energy that I'm trying to create is in this turbo shell. So it looks like I'm obsessed with this pattern. I kind of am. And here's another good picture that shows how it shows the numbers, how they form. See if I can enlarge. Here are the numbers that I just went over in the pattern. So you see the 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. So it just spirals out. And then I added in somatics in my sacred geometry board because somatics are sacred geometry to me. It's a formation from frequency into water, formed from sound and light. And then, let's see, another pattern that I like to use a lot, and there are so many ways that you can use sacred geometry in this physical realm other than visualization. So I use, just in meditation, you can use the sacred geometry patterns as a protection. You can visualize that pattern over your aura, over your body, or if you're trying to manifest and create things, then you would pick the sacred geometry pattern that creates the most energy flow, or whatever pattern creates a protection grid over you. You can use it in crystal grids, in artwork, and so many things. So this is the torus, the toroidal field. This is more of like a flat view of it, but if you visualize this formation, this is how the energy flows from a negative and positive magnetic energy, electromagnetic energy. So we have this energy flow around our bodies. We have this through the earth. So through the North Pole and the South Pole, this is how the energy flows. And so I like to use this pattern when I'm trying to create a, I use a money bowl or something like that. I'll put that pattern over it, and it creates a harmonious and faster, free-flowing form of energy. And our thoughts create frequency, and so just by imagining it works. And so where it begins, other than the Vesca Pisces, are the Platonic Solids. So the correlations of the tetrahedron is correlated to fire, and the octahedron is air. The icosahedron is water. The hexahedron is earth, and then you have the dodecahedron for ether. And I use all of these symbols in my energy cards, whatever element I'm trying to pull in or picture, imagine. I put this pattern on my energy cards. I use it on my water to program my crystals or my water, or like I said, just visualization, just viewing it for a certain, you're trying to pull in a certain energy. So if you're trying to pull in the water element, then you would picture the icosahedron in your mind's eye, or when you're programming your water, you would use the symbol for the water, and that just creates the whatever energy you're pulling from the water. If you want the water to be in a harmonious flow, like if you're working with abundance work, then you want the energy to be free flowing with the water. And then let's see, we have the Metatron's cube here. So I kind of went over this, how all the Platonic solids are inside of this pattern. And then this is pretty cool. This is a picture of our DNA. So it's a cross-cut section of DNA. And it says the flower of life, but it's the seed of life that holds the golden ratio. And so this formation is even inside of our bodies. And then this one is also very cool. This shows how ancient sites, the flower of life appears in revered sacred sites from around the world. What could this pattern have meant to our ancestors to be carved so meticulously into places of high importance? And so our ancestors were so tapped into the natural formations and flow of energy. I think it's just so amazing to me. And here is another explanation of the flower of life. And it's a series of overlapping circles, which is the Vesca Pisces, that can build infinity outwards, forming a flower-like grid. And you can read more about that if you want to go to my Pinterest. Then this is a pattern that I use a lot. This is in my symbol where I put my B in the middle. To me, it's harmony. It is the combination of the masculine and the feminine energies. So the upward pyramid is your masculine, and the feminine is the downward facing pyramid. And I use diamonds a lot for protection grids, for my energy field around me, and my family grid that I put protection around is in this pattern. This is kind of almost like the Merkaba, more layered. This pattern is, to me, I envision it sort of like a negative and a positive magnetic charge as well. Like I can see the Taurus energy flowing around this pattern. So it's very sacred to me. A lot of Native Americans use this pattern in their artwork as well. This is the Merkaba. This combines opposing energies in perfect balance, masculine and feminine. So you can see how I kind of correlate this to the hexagram. Masculine and feminine, earth and the cosmos. So it's as above, so below energies. And you can get to a point in your meditations where you can envision this around your body and create a flow of energy that can move your spirit body around. You can actually move around inside of this protection grid. And so the top portion of the pyramid will go in the direction of clockwise, and then the bottom pyramid goes into a counterclockwise motion, and it creates a anti-gravity type of energy. And then let's see, this kind of just dives more into, let's see this one here. Yeah, kind of everything I just talked about. And this is how you can use it in a crystal grid. There's the seed of life in a crystal grid. And you can put it in a dream catcher. And I don't know why these pages are not opening all the way. There are some more somatics. Some artwork of somatics. And this is amazing to me. This is through a tonoscope. They have found that the sound of Om, this mandala, that has been found thousands and thousands of years ago. It's called the Sri Yantra, and that's kind of the one I just went over. Like the hexagram is the beginning of the Sri Yantra, and it creates this pattern, like a somatic pattern, from the sound. And so there are different meditations that you can use to really tap into this energy that is, the sound Om is found in throughout the universe. So it is very powerful. This article here goes more into it. They talk about the center part of it and the interlocking parts of the Sri Yantra. And then a previous video I went over Dr. Emoto's research on the formations of water when you put intention into water. And I consider that sacred geometry. So that's mainly what I use for my sacred geometry workings. And now we're going to go over my journal for Friday. And so here are some of the patterns that I created. We have our Friday Venus energies, and the correlating energies are copper, love, beauty, art, romance, resources, partnership or unity, harmony. And the chakra for the day to tune into is the heart chakra. The colors are pink and green. Forgiveness, love, affection, attraction, feminine, compassion, and balance. And the elements are earth and air. And so the northeast, so like if you were going to do a certain crystal grid or meditation, you would want to focus on the northeast side. And I correlate northeast with Yeshua or Archangel Raphael, usually come in for me in those areas. And some correlations are uplift, connect, abundant, fertility, powerful, creative, and growth. And some of the crystals I like to use are rhodonite, jade, emerald, rose quartz, turquoise, peridot, morganite, and malachite. And then we have some of my energy cards. This shows the hexahedron, octahedron, earth and air. And some of the frequencies you can tune into or sounds are yam and fa. The notes are G and A. I use 528 hertz almost always. Frequency is connected to the heart, and then of course 432 hertz for earth. Whoops. And so this is the back of some of the cards, and this talks about the different plants that you can tap into or use for your teas, for your medicine bag, for oils that you want to create to kind of tap into the Venus energies are jasmine, cardamom, raspberry. Raspberry I like to use in smoothies in my jar recipes. I have a board for that here in my Pinterest. Pine, sage, rose, daisy, hibiscus, blue spruce, gardenia, and I think, of course, I always use ylang-ylang, and that one I think is covered up. But that is definitely connected to the heart chakra. And crystals, I went over that. And then I have on the back of one of the cards are affirmations that you can write in for self-love or love or any of these Venus correlations. Beauty, whatever you're trying to pull in. And I'm going to read my affirmation here at the end for that I created for Friday. And then we have, let's see the sound, exercises I like to use, and I have a board for exercises. So I don't have a board for cardio, but I use compound exercises for cardio. And compound or core or HIIT, high interval, what does that HIIT stand for? High intensity interval training exercises, because it's connected to the heart, and so we want to get the heart really flowing. And we have, yep, went over that. So this is the back of some of the smaller cards that I created. I like to put these on my water, around my water jars. I like to use the symbol of the Venus orbit. So this is actually the pattern that Venus creates as its orbital pattern. It's so beautiful. And then here's the sound fa. You can use 639 hertz. So this is the somatic formed in water when it crystallizes with 639 hertz frequency. I tried to draw it. It's not perfect, but this is like my rough draft of my whole journal and energy card thing. And so, yeah, that's Thursday. We went over that. And whoops, get back in there. So now I will read my affirmation for Friday. And then I'm just going to show you, let's see, let's play something so you can watch something. What are we going to show you? Okay, I'll just have you look at this while I read. Okay, so this is my Friday affirmation. I live in harmony. My affirmations are my reality. I am aligned with the universe and attract high frequency positive energies into my life. I am attuned and connected to the essence and frequencies of the elements. My chakras flow with high vibrational energies and function at optimal abilities. My heart chakra vibrates with green and pink frequencies. I receive high vibrational frequencies from Venus that assist me in opening my heart to give, attract, and receive love from myself and others with harmony. My frequencies of love, stability, prosperity, creativity, healing, and beauty radiate all around me, creating high frequency attraction to myself and those around me. I visualize a controlled tornado or a Fibonacci spiral filled with my high vibrational frequencies swirling around and penetrating those around me. I swirl my frequencies down to the core of Gaia and create a toroidal vortex that fills the earth with healing love. So that is my affirmations for Friday. And I will do another video for, let's see, we're going to do Saturday next for Saturn. So we'll do a lot of grounding. I'm not quite sure what else we're going to go over. Maybe I'll show you one of my smoothies for Saturday. What else? Oh, and also for Venus, I like to go into I consider my Pinterest my journal. So sometimes I just call this my journal. So I go into my journal, my Pinterest journal, and I look up maybe a high vibes jar recipe that correlates with that day, so I can tap into those energies. So like a strawberry lime mint infused water would be a good for Venus energies, or like a smoothie in my jar, and then I would infuse it with some intention. Or these are really good, the coconut, the chia dragon fruit smoothies are really good. So you can always just come here to my Pinterest and get the recipes. And I have some really good natural beauty because it's self-love day, and love for others. So you'd want to pamper yourself a little bit. And I have some really good like DIYs here saved for, like, I would do something, of course, with rose involved in it, like a salt scrub or a honey mask. This thing here that has the crystal gemstone, I'm creating that next with organite. I'm going to make an organite tea light holder that looks like this for my fire element. And so my plan is for my Etsy is to make energy boxes for each day I'm talking about. And so I'll have whatever element is connecting to that day. I'm going to have some sort of organite that correlates with it. So those are coming soon, kind of like this healing box here. I'll have like a protection energy box. So save my Pinterest, my Etsy page, because a lot of cool stuff is coming. Like a spa kit. There's some cute DIYs in here. And then I'm going to start doing my own DIYs and vlogs or blogs to correlate to my energy boxes that I'm going to put on my Etsy. So that's really cool. And then, so let's just close out with some 528 hertz frequency sounds and some of the orgonate that I just made. I think, let me think. This one might be 528 hertz.